Hello, welcome to Potpourri. I'm your host, Shatondra Caldwell, and with us today we have special guests. We have Miss Wendy Williams, the General Manager of WCLK, and President Dr. Carlton E. Brown. How are you guys today?
Just fine, thank you.
Great.
Doing very well, thank you.
All right, so let's jump right into it. So let's go ahead and talk about the WCLK event that's coming up. Can you explain it for us?
Well, yes, WCLK is getting ready to celebrate 40 years of being on the air in Atlanta. April 10th, 1974 is our actual anniversary date. And at that time, we became the first educational FM station in the state of Georgia. So with that, we are very proud of this moment in time, and we want everyone in the community to come out and celebrate with us, because as a public radio station, we do feel like that this is a community event, that this is certainly a tradition and a legacy that we want everyone to feel a part of. And so we're hoping to make this one of our biggest celebrations ever.
Okay, so why is this event so historic for WCLK and Clark Atlanta?
Well, I think that one of the things that we have to look at is the history of this institution and all of its parts is about innovation. We have been about innovation from the very beginning. And if you look at the issue of jazz music in particular, going all the way back to the 20s, Fletcher Henderson, the father of the big band, he's the guy who invented that whole concept right here, came out of here. And if you move that forward through the advent of WCLK and then into the 90s with the advent of Jazz Funk Cafe, which was the time when we began to merge all the different genres of music, that not only happened right here in Atlanta, it was led by Clark Atlanta University students and graduates.
Right.
And so that continues on today. And then if you begin to look at the number of artists who got their start by being first heard on these airwaves because our personnel understood what their music was all about. We can name some of them. I'll just mention one at the moment, India Ari. Right out of here, first blush. This was when people first began to hear her. So it has that kind of legacy. And you're talking about a station that has been in existence for 40 years, has been inventive over those 40 years. Every few years we have to reinvent, to not only just to stay up with what's going on, we try to stay ahead of what is going on. And so we're at another one of those major milestones.
Okay. And what does the WCLK 40th anniversary fundraiser mean to Clark Atlanta University as a whole? What legacy will it hold?
Well, I'll say a couple of things about that, and then I know Wendy's been thinking about this for a long time. One of the things we're trying to do, and Ms. Barranco is going to be my co-chair for this activity. Mrs. Barranco is the outgoing chair of our Board of Trustees. And now her new set of tasks as we move forward from here is she'll be working with me to help us secure all of our arts and other assets, including the radio station and the television station. So what we're trying to do now is to mark a moment that says we've got to continue to figure out how to fund this activity, and we've got to do it in a way that secures it for its future, regardless of who's paying attention to it, that it will live on into the future.
And also to that, each year as a public radio station, we're tasked with raising money to support ourselves. It's something that has caught on nationwide in terms of how public broadcasters really do business. It's how we raise money, is that we put on different events in addition to on-air pledge drives. And so this fundraiser will go towards helping us meet our budgetary goals for this fiscal year 2014 and hopefully beyond. We have planned it such a big event in 3 different parts so that we can hopefully raise money going on after this fiscal year. So we have a dinner coming up. We also have a concert coming up, and we just ended our on-air membership drive, and we do 3 of those a year. So all of that support, that fundraising support, goes towards just the operational, not just rather the operational of the station, but also to look towards future funding of the station as well.
Okay. Now, who will be a part of these events? That's what everyone wants to know. What's going to be, who's going to be there, who's going to perform?
Well, thank you for asking that question, because we do painstakingly go through a roster of many artists that we think will be representative of, the station's 40-year history. And this year was no different in trying to really come up with some artists that we thought would satisfy and wow our audience, but also get to the goal that is at hand. And also artists that we feel reflect the diversity of the music of the station over the past 40 years. As Dr. Brown was just mentioning, we've had a plethora of artists who have come through the doors of the radio station, both to do interviews and whose music that we play. So these artists that we have coming, Ms. Diane Reeves, vocalist, songstress extraordinaire, has just released a new CD. So that's something that we're very, very happy about, that she'll be here and performing to our dinner guests. And later on that evening, we have Mr. George Benson. He himself has been around for at least 50 decades with his music, and we think that he has also evolved and certainly is an innovator of the music and is timeless. So we think that he also is going to be a star-studded, it's going to be a star-studded performance, and we hope that all of the public comes out and not only celebrates with us, but help us to maintain this legacy. If you look around today, there are no other jazz stations in the city of Atlanta. I don't even think the state of Georgia. And they're drying up. If they're even out there, they're dying as we go every day. So we don't want that to happen here. We are proud of this jazz legacy. There's great music out there to be played. There's wonderful artists performing in their work. So we want to make sure that we are a vanguard in keeping it here.
Dr. Carlton E. Brown, I just want to ask you, who are you excited about seeing?
Oh, goodness. I've been a Diane Reeves fan for a very, very long time, and so anytime she wants to open her mouth and sing, I like to be there. But George Benson is one of those powerful guitarists that has worked through all the different phases of this music, and every time you think he's done, he either comes up with a new way of playing or he reinvents what he's done before. So some of his classics, Broadway, I'll never get tired of that.
Right.
I've wrecked speakers on my car behind Broadway. So I'm looking forward to both of them. It's going to be a great evening. And of course, in that mix at various points, we get to hear some of our own as well, our own jazz orchestra, and probably some of our singers as well. And as you know, Clark Atlanta University, if you haven't heard me say this before, you're going to hear it again. This place attracts more talent than any place I've ever seen or been, and that continues to this day.
Right. So speaking of students, how can students get involved to help out more with the fundraising?
Well, we just completed a pledge drive, as I said, and so we had students volunteer to answer phones. For this particular event, we're asking students to register to volunteer to be greeters that evening. They certainly can help escort some of our guests, to their tables, because it's going to be a corporate-funded dinner. And so we have lots of areas that students can help out, getting literature out to people as they arrive to the center, to the Performing Arts Center that night. Also, students can certainly come out and hand out, the programs and give information about the school, the students, what they're doing as well, because we have tables there for our vendors. So there's a lot of ways that students can really help out in this event, and so we hope to see many of them there with us.
And don't underplay the service of students as hosts and hostesses, because this is how a lot of people really get some sense of the character of the institution. Clark Atlanta University students have a way of presenting themselves to people that just kind of takes them. So we need all of that to occur.
Right. Okay, so tell us how students can get involved. What information do you want to put out to the public so that students know where to go, and also social media sites?
Well, first of all, they can stop at the station and they can sign up. We have sign-up sheets for student volunteers, so if they want to come right down to our reception area, they can sign up and say that they want to work that night. They can also say what they think what area they would like to work in, because also, believe it or not, we have students that we will need to go around and help kind of direct the activities of the artists that day. So we have rehearsals going on, we have lunches going on. So we need students backstage helping to, make sure that the artists get from point A to point B at the Cobb Center. Also, like I said, we have tables to man, tickets to take, so they can stop at the station, sign up for those kinds of activities, as well as they can call our number, 404-880-8274, and they can register with me. I'll take their call, because I love when students get involved. So I will take any students that call, and they can also go online at WCLK.com and click on volunteer opportunities with the station, because it goes beyond just this event. Let me tell you, we have the Dogwood Festival coming up.
Right.
We also have the Atlanta Jazz Festival coming up. So we always need students, especially during the summer. And we've kicked off our new Wednesday wind down schedule again after 7 years. So we need students down there working at Centennial Olympic Park all summer. We're there once a month. So we really need at least, I'd say, 50 to 100 students to get us through to the fall.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So are there any last minute things you want to say about the 40th anniversary?
Well, we want everyone to come on out, of
Right.
course, and we are selling tickets at Ticketmaster for both the dinner and the concert. Now, a lot of people, we had to make sure we were careful in making sure people understood that Diane Reeves is performing at the dinner only. The concert is George Benson only. Some people thought that she was going to be performing with George Benson. So we want to make it clear that there are two separate events. There's a VIP reception for our sponsors that begins the evening at 4:30. And then we go right into dinner at 6 o'clock with Diane Reeves performing. And you can buy tickets right now online at WCLK.com, or they can go to Ticketmaster and get tickets as well. And then beginning at 8 o'clock, it's George Benson. And again, they can buy their tickets at Ticketmaster for George Benson concert. Now, if they're going to be at the dinner and they want to have a table, we are reserving tables as well. And I'll give WCLK.com, also my number, 404-880-8274, if they're interested in purchasing a table. Because many corporations are purchasing tables for this event. Because again, as we said, it's the 40th, it's big, it's something we don't traditionally do. We usually have an annual concert, but we don't have a fundraising gala with it as well.
Right. Any last things you want to say, Dr. Carlton-Ebron?
Well, it's just another unique moment in the history of the institution. We're finishing our 25th year anniversary as we celebrate 40 years of WCLK, and that combination should not be lost on anyone. When we started the radio station, there were many that said they can't sustain it, it'll never last, but here it is, stronger than ever at 40 years. When Clark College and Atlanta University became one institution, again, the naysayers were there. Yet here we are in all our glory, continuing to push forward. So it's a very, very important moment in history that we hope is not lost on anyone.
Thank you guys for joining us today, Dr. Brown and Ms. Williams, for giving us so much information about the 40th anniversary for WCLK, and I know it's going to be amazing. Okay. Stay tuned. Potpourri will return right after this.
Matchsticks, matchbox, matching tie and matching socks. You don't know why, but you're really special to match point, match game. You and I are not the same, but I can tell that you're really special to me. There's something I can give to make you laugh, to help you live. We're the perfect match, and you're really special to me. We're the perfect match, and you're really special to me. Matchsticks, matchbox, matching tie and matching socks. You don't know why, but you're really special to match point, match game. You and I are not the same, but I can tell that you're really special to me. There's something I can give to make you laugh, to help you live. We're the perfect match, and you're really special to me. We're the perfect match, and you're really special to me.
It's time to join forces. Get energized and fuel up right. It's coming. Because starting today, every kid in America has a mission. Bring out the action hero in you. Be part of the greatest action movie ever. The first movie that puts you in the action. Show us how you train and eat like an action hero. Join in at actionheroalliance.com.
Packers. Viking. Packers. Viking. Viking.
Red state, blue state, vegan.
Carnivore.
We come from different places.
Uptown.
Downtown.
Optimist.
We come to different conclusions.
Half empty.
Half full.
But when we live united, we create real, lasting change in the building blocks of life. The education, income, and health of our communities,
Live.
our families,
United.
even the person next to us.
Live united.
Real change won't happen without you. So give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Sign up at liveunited.org.
Mom, can we get some ice cream?
Please, Mom, please.
No, we're having dinner soon.
Please.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
Oh, those boys are much too much. Those boys are much too much. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We're gonna beat them and bust them.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Let's get a little bit rowdy. R-O-W-D-Y.
Take time to be a dad today. Call or visit fatherhood.gov to learn more.
Up to 40% of businesses never recover after experiencing a major disaster. Make a plan at ready.gov/business.
Hello and welcome back to Potpourri, and we have special guests with us. Can you ladies introduce yourselves for me?
Well, I am Juanita Powell Barranco. I am the owner, along with my husband, of Mercedes-Benz of Buckhead. But I think most importantly for today, I am co-chair of the 40th anniversary of WCLK.
And I'm Wendy Williams, General Manager of Jazz 91.9 WCLK.
All right, so let's get into it. Why are you guys here? I think I have an idea. WCLK 40th anniversary?
That is correct. We are here because we're just weeks away from a wonderful event that we hope will celebrate the 40 years of tradition that WCLK has set for the city of Atlanta. So we're excited about it. We've got a great menu of activities planned, and you know, we're so proud and thankful that Mrs. Barranco would take time out of her busy schedule not only to help us but to chair it, and we think that it speaks volumes for how the city and all of the corporate leaders can support us.
Well, you know, first of all, let me say it's real hard to say no to Wendy Williams. Those of us who've been asked to do things, we usually come through for her. I have been on the board for Clark Atlanta University for nearly 20 years, and I am the immediate past chair. I've chaired the board for the last 10 years. And one of the things that I've always been so proud of as a trustee of Clark Atlanta University is our radio and our television stations. I mean, those are some valuable assets. And the radio station, for many people in the city of Atlanta and indeed around the country, is really the face of Clark Atlanta University. So oftentimes people will say, well, I don't know much about the school, but I do know about that jazz radio station. So I've listened to it forever. Before I got on the board, since I've been on the board, and since I'm no longer chair, I still listen to that radio station, you know, all the time. That's it's program number one on my radio dial.
Right.
So.
Well, that's how it is. So tell us about the events. What is actually going on in the events for the WCLK 40th anniversary?
Well, we have two events for one grand evening on May 9th. It begins with a wonderful dinner gala that we're going to have with our featured guest, Ms. Diane Reeves. And for anyone who knows Ms. Diane Reeves, they know that she is a phenomenal singer, and she's just released a new CD, so we have a lot to look forward to with her performing for the dinner gala. But also on the same evening, just a couple hours, that starts at 8 o'clock, is going to be our signature anniversary concert with Mr. George Benson. And I think he is one of the artists that we think typifies the kind of artist that WCLK, matter of fact, both of them, Diane and George, I think really typify and represent the type of artist that WCLK has played, and you know, the music that they have taught and lectured about for the last 40 years. So we're very excited that these two artists are going to join us, along with a host of wonderful supporters of the station, many businesses, many friends of the station, and many corporate sponsors. So that's what's planned, and we're looking for a grand evening. We also have a VIP reception that's going to start before those activities get underway. and that's going to be featuring this Clark Atlanta University Jazz Tet. So we have a wonderful night of activities planned, and we want everybody, it's not too late for everybody to call in now or go to online, WCLK.com, to our website, and to sign up and join and be a part of the festivities, because we are celebrating a 40-year tradition. There is no other jazz station in Atlanta. Many stations have come and they've also gone.
Right.
But WCLK is still here.
Right. And who are you more excited to see?
Well, you know, I was hoping not to get that question, quite honestly, but I love them both. George Benson I remember when he first came out, and I just thought he was one of the most talented jazz musicians, singers that I'd ever heard. The minute I heard his vocals, I just fell in love with him, frankly. And so every time I hear about him coming, in fact, I've only been to one other concert of his, frankly, but so this is really, really special to me. I'm happy that Wendy made that pitch, because I've been doing my own little version of advertising, and all my friends are calling me asking for tickets. So now I'm going to direct them to call the station to get those tickets. But people are really excited about this. The other thing about Diane Reeves is just, oh my God, people just love her, and I love her too. Both of these artists, the amazing thing about what Wendy was saying about how they really fit in with our station, because they transcend so many generations. You see people my age, but then I have people who are my children. They're, oh God, George Benson, we really want to come see him. Diane Reeves, they love these two artists. And the way they have decided to put it together with a dinner concert with Diane Reeves and George Benson as the signature performer at the concert at the Cobb Energy Center, I think is just perfect. So people are anxious to come to this. I think it's going to be a sellout crowd, and I think it's going to be a fabulous evening. Only fitting, I think, for the 40th anniversary. We needed to do something special, and we are doing, you guys have outdone yourselves, I think. You could not ask for a better format to celebrate the 40th anniversary.
Right, so what legacy will this hold, since it's so important to CAU, of course, because we're the only jazz station in Atlanta. What legacy will this hold for not only for CAU, but for Atlanta?
Well, my thoughts are that it will really put WCLK out there as the foremost authority, the foremost station for jazz. Jazz is one of, if not the only, original musical art form in the United States of America. And many, years ago, before my time and everybody else's time, people sort of looked down on it. There was a time in our history where people looked down on it. But now it's a very respected art form. And I just think this celebration is celebrating the past, the present, and the future. Because jazz is here to stay. It is a universal music. People love it, of all generations, all races, all genders. People love jazz. When you look at people when they have their weddings or whatever event they're having, a lot of people want jazz as a part of it. So I think the legacy of this 40th anniversary will forever make the statement, not only in the Atlanta community, but also in the community throughout the country, that WCLK is the good housekeeping stamp of approval for good jazz music.
All right, that's good.
That's good.
Yeah, that was good. Now, for CAU students who want to be a part of this legacy, how can they get involved and work with the WCLK 40th anniversary events?
Well, we certainly have plenty of opportunities for students to volunteer and help us with the gala, as well as helping with the concert. So we have a plethora of activities that students can volunteer and sign up for just in general, because even outside of that May 9th event, we have Wednesday Wind Down that starts next week, so we need students to help us with that. We need students to help us with the Atlanta Jazz Festival when we're out there for the holiday weekend, working in the park and meeting and greeting all kinds of fans and listeners across the city. So students are welcome anytime, but we certainly hope that they'll be a part of this and show pride, not only as the jazz station, but that we all are part of CAU, and what great legacy we both are making with this event.
Okay. Now, between the Wind Down Wednesdays and the galas, what are your guys' favorite events?
Wow. You know, they're different. We've been doing like the concerts every year for like the past 15 to 20 years. What's different is this year we did add the gala piece because we've never had the dinner part. So that's fun for us because now we're adding the sit-down dinner where we're going to be serenaded by Diane Reeves. But outside of that, when you're out there in the parks and the Wednesday wind downs, you get to go outside of the studios. You're not trapped inside of the station. You get to go out there and meet the people who listen to you. You get to meet your fans. So that holds its own special meaning. So I can't really say. I'm like Mrs. Barranco. I can't say between Diane and George either, because it's hard. They both have value, and we're just glad to be able to do both, to have both events.
I would agree with Wendy on that. I think they both have an awful lot of value. I mean, Wind Down Wednesdays is pretty much just what the name implies. And a lot of times it depends on the artist. Some artists are more conducive to that type of an audience and that type of setting. But I remember when we saw Shaka Khan in concert. I mean, that was a concert, and she's one of those that can go, into a lot of different venues. But I like them both, and they both have a place, and they both have a role to play. But those, I mean, they're just fun events. I mean, you can't go wrong with either one. So I just love them both. I really do.
And Ms. Williams, where do students go to get involved in these events?
Well, certainly they can go to all of the social media because we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, and we're online at WCLK.com. I think we're also on Instagram, if I'm not mistaken, and I know those are popular for students. Also, we want you to walk down just to we're in the MassCom building, so they can just walk down to the radio station and just come in and ask to sign up and to get involved. We're there, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, so we want them to come down and sign up as well.
Okay. And we didn't talk about the fundraising aspect of the events. Can you touch on that for me?
Absolutely. This is a big fundraiser for us. And we're really stepping out on faith, if you will, by bringing both Diane Reeves and George Benson. I don't know where you can go anywhere on the planet, frankly, and put those two people in one evening and have a show of a lifetime. So it is a fundraiser. We are asking for your support. I will say that the corporate community is really coming through for us on this one. They are really supporting this event. The other thing to keep in mind, and I always try to remind people of this, when you support WCLK, you also support Clark Atlanta University. This is a training station for students. I cannot tell you the number of news anchors and radio personalities that have come out of WCLK and Clark Atlanta University. We have a fabulous program. So this, by supporting WCLK and this 40th anniversary gala and concert, you are also supporting our students. So I would encourage everyone to come and be royally entertained, but to be very supportive of what we have going on here for our students as well.
Right, and if people want to give and they're not able to go to the events, where can they give?
They can go to WCLK.com, or they can also call our membership office where we're available to take your pledges or donations, 404-880-8280. And they can sign up for this or just to support the station, either way.
Well, thank you, ladies, for joining us today. I hope that this WCLK 40th anniversary is amazing. I'm sure it will be. Diane Reeves, George Benson, and I'm younger, so I know about them.
Oh, wow. That's great.
Well, Chandra, extend an invitation. You can sit at my table if you'd like to come.
Definitely. I definitely will be there. Thank you again for joining us on Potpourri. I'm your host, Shatondra Caldwell. Join us again.